All right, what's going on, everybody? It's John W. Davis here with Pavy, the Spark Report. We're back for the second episode, and we got to break down this game. We got to get right to it. You know what game I'm talking about.
The funniest part about
They did play basketball in Washington,
They
right?
did play basketball in Washington. The funniest thing about it is I have been waiting for this game because, I mean, you know, we said that all the games. Like, I always say, yo, they don't cover the three-point line. They don't cover the three-point line. At some point in time, you got to cover the three-point line. Whatever I said, but I've been saying for, like, a month. I'm like, yo, my worst fear is that they play a team that's going to be like, you know what, we're going to shoot 33s. We're going to headhunt for threes. So I was interested to see what the Washington game was going to look like because I know Washington hit, 18 threes the other night. I think it was 18 threes on the Fever. They took 39. I was like, yo. And that's the one thing that the Sparks don't do well is cover the three-point line. And I think they started out 6 of 6 from three or like
6 of 8.
6 of 8 from three.
Yeah, made their first 4 baskets with threes.
And I was like, yep, here we go. Exactly what I thought was going to happen is happening. And for one, I think that like the schemes that they were running, like they were trapping off Deladon on the screen and rolls. What are you doing? She is shooting 50, 40, 90. Why are you trapping off Deladon? All somebody got to do is rotate. Then they go find the open man. Like, and also I would see the weak side would always help. That's all I know with the Sparks. Like the weak side, when somebody penetrates, will always help. They won't stay attached. Like even I was watching the Fever game, and like the Fever finally started shoot with the Fever Sparks game. They finally started shooting. Like if you look at the stat sheet, it looks like they took a decent amount of threes, but they were down 30 by then. So that anything they hit in the fourth quarter does not count to me.
But when you look at this Mystics team, you said you're waiting for a team to shoot 33s. You know how many they shot?
How many?
35. Okay? Now, technically, they only made 11 of them, but how many did they make in the first half?
Exactly.
About 9 or so.
By the time the second half came, it was pretty much over with. Yeah. It's pretty much over with.
And then they even put even more distance on them in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Because the Mystics won the third quarter by 17 points. But it's all about that defense. And that's why I wanted you to start off and let you get your little rant on. It's not a rant, but let you get your speech on because what you've been saying is valid. And if you look at the post-game quotes from Derek Fisher and from Candace Parker, everybody knows this. And that's what I was telling you about. If you and I know it, they know it. Because they have better basketball minds than we do. Okay? So if you and I see it, you know they see it. But we're waiting for that adjustment. Because you can't do everything. Okay? You can try.
Yeah, you're going to have to give up something.
Right.
Like, teams are too good. You're not going to take away everything from people.
And a team like that, Deladon is arguably their biggest post player. Yeah. They do have Sanders, but Deladon is the one that's inside, but she's out and things like that. So it's almost like, well, maybe the next time you see them, if they get the opportunity to see them in the playoffs, maybe you counter with another defender on the court.
I think that they just stop trapping. Stop trapping the screen and rolls.
Okay.
And the weak side cannot, you can't help. Like, this team shoots too well and the spacing is just entirely too good.
So just go one-on-one and fight around it?
Just go one-on-one, switch there. Like, they can pretty much switch everything. But we're not everything, but a lot of the matchups
with the starting five, I think
they can pretty much switch everything. Yeah. Switch everything or just, fight over the screen. Stop doing the trapping thing. That's cool against teams who can't shoot. Because when you trap, you naturally just leave one person. You leave somebody open. That means somebody else gonna rotate. That means the next thing is one pass away, or somebody else gonna fly out, pump fake. It's an easy layup, or the weak side gonna help. Now I pass it to that side of the court. They have to stop trapping.
Do you think they take any solace in the fact that technically over the whole game they shot below average for threes because they only made 11 out of 35? Do you think there's any way that they look at this and say, well, they still technically shot below average?
I mean, yes, you can do that, but
it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's like if you can't, because the Sparks, they can shoot the ball, but they can't shoot like them. So you can't afford to get into a shootout with Washington. If you come in and now you down, and I also think about the WNBA is people don't take enough threes to be able to come back from 20-point, 15, 16-point leads. Once you get up in double digits, the game is kind of really over at that point. For the most part. Now, there are some games in which you see teams lose a big lead, but for the most part, once you start to get up 20 points, it's nothing you can really do.
Right.
So you can't afford to drop down 10, 15, 14 points in the first quarter.
Right.
Because you don't have, to me, the Sparks are a defensive team. They have people who can score, but they're not some offensive juggernaut of a team like Washington. I think Washington's offensive rating is 10 points higher than everybody else. So Washington wants a shootout. They want to do that. You can't let that happen.
There was a point in the game when I was looking at the box score as it was happening. Pretty much everybody who had played in the game for the Mystics had attempted a three.
Yes.
Every single player on the team. So they have, I mean, even the center.
The center, yeah.
Who, is not really going to shoot threes on most teams. She attempted one.
I mean,
they come off the bench with a 6'4" player, Emma. She can shoot threes. I mean, everybody on that team can shoot.
The thing about the center is that, like, the thing about them is even if they aren't shooting threes, just they're shooting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many teams, I think, try to like get to the paint so much, and that's why I think that Derek has like made the defense what it is. But even them, like, you'll see them pump fake. The reason why they shot like that, or like why that I think looks also deceiving, is because then you start flying out and now you start contesting. And one pump fake, we gonna take one thing and then pull up. Like, what did they shoot from the field? Like, even though 3-point percentage was what it was, like, what did they end up shooting from the field?
The Mystics
The Mystics shoot from the field.
The Mystics shot 47% from the field.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they basically shot 50% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
So then you try to adjust.
22 of 24 from free throw line too. So you're making those buckets.
So then you try to adjust and get out to the shooters, but now you overrunning it because you flying out, and now it's one dribble open pull up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times I saw that yesterday. Like, literally, I haven't even looked at the stat sheet. I there's no need for me to look at the stat sheet.
That's
I know
true.
what went wrong.
No, you're right.
I know exactly what went wrong.
So if you know what went wrong, I know what went wrong, they know what went wrong, how do you fix what went wrong?
The issue is, I don't know how you're going to start playing defense differently in August.
Basically,
that's
September.
the issue. Like, basically September. Like, you would have to literally undo things you did all year.
But you don't think maybe saying, "Oh, Elena Beard, get some more minutes." You don't think that can change?
It's
something?
not on her though. Like, the defense, you don't play defense by yourself. So if, again, like, yeah, I can do my job, but if somebody gonna help from the weak side and leave it clean open, what am I supposed to, like, what? How? That's not my. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe
So
they.
you
could,
don't think they can talk and say,
No,
okay,
no.
we're abandoning that part of our principle against certain teams?
I think that when you get into a series, sure. Which is why, like, if you put them in like a series against Washington, I think it'll be a good series.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that we're having with the Sparks is like single game elimination, which is why
that's what it's looking
the
like they're
best
going to
team-
have to do, but only in the second round, and they would be at home, and we don't see them lose at home.
You don't see them lose at home. But again, with the single game elimination thing, I think somebody come in and get hot. It don't take much. Somebody come in and hit 6 threes. Somebody come in and have a career night. Like, I would assume at this point, and if you look at the teams that seem that they would have to play, right? Okay, Minnesota, I think they would have an easy time. Minnesota.
Now the first round would be Sky, Mercury, 5-8, and then 6-7 Link Storm.
So they would play the winner of
the lowest seed. Let's say the Sparks just get the third seed.
Right.
Let's just give them the third seed because that's what the standings are currently.
So they would get the winner of Sky Mercury.
No, not necessarily. They would get the lowest seed that was left.
That's still an issue because Sammy Wickham.
So they would not have to play the Sky.
Okay. But I
It
mean,
would be somebody below the Sky. So it would be Link, Storm, Mercury.
See, the thing about the Mercury is Diana came back.
Right.
So like the Mercury, yeah, I think their record is pretty deceiving, and don't let her get into a rhythm before, like, what is 6 games before
you
the playoffs.
You don't want that team in the playoffs.
You don't
a single game.
You don't want that team. Mm-hmm. Like, Diana could very well come out there and hit 7 threes.
Right.
She's not scared at the moment.
And it could be 4 or 5 in the first half, and we saw what 4 or 5 in the first half will do against the Sparks if everything works out the way it works.
Against really any team. Like, if you hitting, like, 7 threes and a half. Mm-hmm. I mean, even in like the NBA, people not out there hitting 25 threes every game. Like, you got teams hitting 18 threes. You hit 18 threes, you had a great night from distance, and they taking more threes than them. Mm-hmm. Like, teams don't even there. Teams not averaging 22 threes a night.
But I would say just the counterpoint to that is that, again, we know what went wrong. They know what went wrong. They have excellent basketball minds.
Of course.
They have essentially 2 people on their coaching staff who are head coach level coaches.
Yeah, 100%.
The assistant coach used 100%. To coach Dallas, and he was great friends with all of his players there. They really respected him. So you have that level of coaching. You have a GM who can contribute every once in a while with ideas and things like that. So you have the minds to combat in a series, like you said. But you can get caught slipping in one game.
Like, that's the thing. That's why I think like the NFL, right? I don't think the best team always wins the Super Bowl. The best team, because you played one game. Like, you don't know even the NCAA championship, the tournament. Like, it's one game.
So you saying David Tyree wasn't the best player in the Super Bowl?
There you go. Like,
he caught the helmet.
He had a great catch, but those are things that happen when you playing one game instead of a series. So in a series, I think that they would be fine because, again, like you said, the basketball IQ of the coaching staff, but also the basketball IQ of the players.
Yes.
Like, look, you got Candace Parker, like you said, you got Elena Beard, you got Neka, you got people who know how to play the game of basketball.
Well, what if, let's just talk about the Fever game. So, what if you can use the Fever and then the Aces as a microcosm for knowing that they don't necessarily shoot the same amount of threes, but saying like, okay, going forward, we know that if somebody's shooting a lot of threes against us and they're open and they get them down, we're vulnerable. So what if they use that to maybe modify some defensive principles and stop trapping as much as you said, and really just decide to say, okay, we're going to play essentially like one-on-one defense, wherever they are, you do it, just like TRP was picking up full court and she was just on them the whole time. And if you switch, you switch. What if you do that?
I mean,
do you think they have enough just natural ability? Because pretty much everybody who's in this rotation is a veteran.
Yeah.
There's no young player. The youngest player that's playing now still is two, Sydney and Jones. Yeah. And Jones is kind of like
out. That. Yeah,
She's teetering on it. So Sydney Weiss is essentially the youngest player they have in the rotation. Do you think they could just pick it up?
Oh, I think they have the ability.
Because defense is about effort.
No, again, like yes, but I don't think that effort is always the issue. Like, for instance, Raquana, right? The thing I noticed about watching the Washington game, right? Everything that she did well against Indiana, like her own ball, being like aggressive, being intense, hurt her against Washington. I'm gonna just back cut you. I'm gonna use all your aggressiveness against you. Or like she wants to come help from the weak side, and then you leave somebody open. So it's like, it's not just about playing hard. Like, I don't think that effort was always an issue. I think some of it was scheme. But to answer your question, you can do that and it'll work. But I think that the defense that they employ works best against those teams. So, like, for instance, if you trap in the pick and roll against like the Aces, I don't think Asia and Leah's gonna start just pulling up from 24 feet.
Right.
So I think that like that's what you want to do. Like you like want to trap. You can't play everybody the same way. But I do agree with you that I think that they could just play head up defense and be fine.
Because realistically, a championship is going to go through a 3-point shooting team in this league. Somehow in the semifinals or the finals, there's no way you can win a championship without playing either or Connecticut or the Mystics.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
Now the one thing that maybe you can do is force some more turnovers. Like, I don't think that Washington had their first turnover until like halfway through the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and again, I think that they create a lot of offense through their defense.
But you still didn't see Washington at their best because they was missing essentially what a lot of people may consider their second, if not third best player.
And she's the best isolation player as well. So when something breaks down, I think like she's the one you would get a ball to, even though with Deladon, like, yo, go make a play.
But they've almost passed this isolation stuff. Like the way they've been rolling lately, like she needs to just kind of fit back in instead of standing out.
There was a play yesterday. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Like, they were started on the perimeter, threw the ball in the paint. The person from the paint threw the ball back out to like Deladon. Deladon pump faked and like passed to somebody else. I'm like, yo, what in the hell did I just witness?
You witnessed team basketball.
I was like, yo, what?
Team basketball.
Like, what did I just witness? But again, it was such smart IQ because usually in a W, like somebody would take that up. They wouldn't look for I said the Fever game. Like I would just stare at the weak side the entire time. I promise you they maybe found the open man like twice. But it was open all night.
Mm-hmm. Well, then that's something they need to worry about when they play in Indianapolis. They do not want to get caught slipping. Because we've seen them lose to the Wings. We saw them almost lose to the Fever the last time they were there when they lost that 30-point lead and barely won by 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay, we've seen them lose to the Liberty.
Because Shorty had she had a career night, like
Right.
a legit, like 37 points. That might have been the only time I disagree with something Derek said. He was like, yeah, she was 9 for 24 coming into the game, so we not going. I'm like, yo, I understand that, I feel you, but at some point in time, when somebody has 24 in the first half, I think you might have to readjust what you're doing.
I think the only thing that you can really take solace in is that if you believe that these coaches are good coaches, that when it comes down to it and you know it's a do or die scenario or it's a playoff scenario, they focus on the strengths and the weaknesses of the specific opponent instead of just totally playing Sparks basketball.
No.
Because they're not game planning and changing every single game.
They just play
now.
one way.
Yeah.
They play one way and they like.
Now they do a little bit at the end of practices. Let's say they're going against Griner. Oh, Griner likes to turn this way. Griner likes to turn that way. But even still, like a lot of that is interior focus, which is a strength of their defense.
Yeah, like again, I don't think, but again, I don't want to kill them for that game because I'm happy that game happened the way it happened.
Right.
Because I'm happy that happened now instead of in September.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that game happened and
Better
you have
now than
like
later.
exactly. So you have take like okay, like when you lose by 30, you can't do nothing but look at what you did wrong. Also, when you lose by 30, you get a chance to coach. Because obviously, if you lose by 30 points, something seriously went wrong. So you have that film, and you get to look at that film.
Now, shout out to the Mystics because they have been doing that to a lot of teams this year, beating them by 25 or 30. But realistically, you can't expect, just like we didn't expect the Mystics to lose by 30 because they lost by 30 the last time, you can't expect the Sparks to lose by 30 again.
Exactly.
And this team is still together. You know what they did after?
Went out.
They went out and they sung karaoke.
Yeah.
You know, they had fun, and then they got on the flight and went to Indiana.
I mean, yeah, it's not the end of the world. Like, look, it's not the end of the world. Like, people lose by points, crazy amounts all the time.
You were not going to catch the Mystics, but you had a legitimate chance if you won that game. If you were able to beat the number one team twice, you were looking pretty good for that second spot. That's pretty much out the door now.
And also, I will say this: I think Deladon is like run away with the MVP at this point.
It's over.
Like I don't think Necker really did ourselves any favors in that game against the Mystics. And I didn't know that Deladon.
I mean, but she's not a primary offensive ball handler like Deladon is. Deladon is an initiator of the offense.
No,
she kind of has like the Candace Parker role.
No, you're right.
Necker doesn't have that role, so there's only so much she can do.
Now, I do think defensive player of the year is something that Necker should be up for, but that's a different conversation. Because I until
her
really
over TRP.
Yeah, I think she's been better on defense than TRP. Like if you look at the matchups, I don't think anybody has ever had a good night besides Deladon yesterday. But whatever.
So then you're thinking runner up for MVP, first team all WNBA.
Defense. Yes.
First team all WNBA too. First team all defense.
And she should get some serious consideration for defense player of the year.
Okay.
Like the numbers don't show it. Like her defensive numbers aren't like.
Well, she has pretty good win share for defense.
That's what I mean. Like you have to go more so to the advanced stats to see really Necker's impact.
She's got a lot of rebounds, steals, blocks, and things like that.
And just like take the opponents and look at their points than like their percentages when they play her. Nobody for the most part has a good night against her.
You're right. I mean, I feel like we should have been talking about that before now. If she was really gonna get like consideration for it, but
I think that's
because they'll say like the easy one to go to would be like Jonquel Jones. Because she's like truly averaging a double-double, even though the points have nothing to do with defense. But she's got more than 10 rebounds, and you know she can block shots, and she's big, and she's, intimidating with her size on the court. So.
Yeah, but that's the thing with defense. Like defense sometimes is more than like just because you average 2 blocks don't mean you were a great defender. It just means you blocked some shots.
It means you blocked 2 shots.
Like just because you led the league in steals don't really mean you were. It just means you can jump the pass.
You can block a shot and it can go right back to the offense and they can lay it up.
Also, sometimes it's better to just do this and just like.
I'd rather than miss a shot than you block a shot and then get it back.
Exactly. So like
alter a shot. You know what I mean?
Defensive numbers don't all. You can go for steals and let people get by you. So defensive numbers don't always mean you a great defender, but yeah, I definitely think she should get some consideration for Defensive Player of the Year, some serious consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. I think that I know like the team thinks that like TRP has been the one and like she has like she's the one who come out guard somebody full court, all of that, like yeah, but I think NECA quietly is really the anchor of this team defensively.
I agree with that, and I think that's what will sum her up as. If she's not going to get MVP, she's probably not going to get Defensive Player of the Year. You put all that together and you say, well, if we didn't give her this, we didn't give her that, and we didn't give her this, then she's got to be first team all WNBA.
Oh, she's not first team all WNBA. I'm getting this podcast and Yale. She should be first team all WNBA. Like she's played almost every game. She is a huge reason as to why this team isn't the eighth seed right now, because she's been there pretty much besides the Space Jam day.
Yeah.
If she's not first team all WNBA, I don't know who's voting.
No, I definitely
I literally don't know who's voting.
Okay, so I guess to kind of wrap this up, so if you're Derek Fisher, you have this game, you know why you lost, you got 5 games left or so in the season, you're looking like you're going to host a second round game in the playoffs, what are you doing? Because before they went on this road trip, I was thinking in my mind, if they get 2 out of 3 on the road, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Because that would be above average for them. Because right now they're a below 500 road team. So if you get 2 out of 3 on the road,
you did great.
Yeah,
it's a great job.
So it just happened to get blown out in one of the games.
I mean, I think for Derek and the Sparks, you just keep doing what you're doing. Like it's worked up to this point, and then we will worry about those again. I think that you have to play your matchup.
Okay,
like
so keep doing what you're doing, but then when you have that specific matchup in the playoffs, 1 game scenario. And if they make it past that into a series, then you say, this is what this team does, and this is how we're going to disrupt that.
But right now, you just play your matchup. Like, it's worked well to this point. You can't change your whole system just because you had 1 loss.
Okay.
Like it doesn't really make sense to do. But, again, when you get into the playoffs and you get into it's do or die, if we don't win this game, we're not going to have no more games this season. Then that's when you get in the gym, lock in, and say, okay, look, I know we did this all year, but this is what we're going to do for this game.
Tighten that rotation. Chelsea played 39 minutes and 59 seconds.
39. You go in there, you go out there, play your best players, and you see what happens.
Okay.
But I don't think it's room to panic. It's just that
definitely not.
I was
still the 3rd seed. It was literally a situation where they lost, Sky lost, the Aces lost. Nothing even changed.
Yeah.
It was like that day didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was just a race from the WNBA standings. It was the same as when it started, when it ended, even though everybody played and everybody lost. So if you're going to lose, that's when you want to lose.
And to be fair, they did still have chances to win that game. Like I thought game? The Mystics game. I thought that look. I thought that they ended the first half. Actually,
you mean when it was 3-0?
No, listen. I thought they actually ended the first half like decently, but like you tweeted yesterday, like the Sparks are a great 3rd quarter team. Yes. They wasn't a great 3rd quarter team yesterday.
Not that
but
one.
They
weren't scoring.
They weren't.
The defense was good, but they just weren't scoring.
Like they ended when Chelsea hit that shot at the buzzer. I'm like, oh, okay, like that was probably the best possible ending to the half that like they could ask for. I think like most games are lost in the second half at the end of the first half. How you go into the locker room has a lot to do with what happens in the second half. I thought the Sparks would come out, get maybe 2 buckets. Now it's an 8-point game. It's a whole different game. That isn't what happened. Now that's where he could maybe talk about the effort, things like that. I think that they wouldn't have a tendency to start slow in games. Like they start really slow, and maybe they need to come out the half with the intensity that they need to come out the half with. So again, I think that you can still take some solace in certain things. Like they could look at the stat sheet and say, "Oh, they still 11 for 34." That's not what killed us. Other things killed us. But I mean, look,
this is one thing. Then and then maybe we can end on this. So I saw something, and they were basically saying that, so far this season, percentage-wise, Candace Parker has taken about the 7th most shots on the team. They're saying she's not shooting enough. Do you think she should get more shots? Because she had 5. That's a great question. That's a great question. How? I don't know. I just asked you, do you think she should get more shots? But your counter of how is great because I don't know. I mean, do you just want her to take more threes like she's been doing? Do you want her to do more scoop-de-doop, swoop-de-whoop layups? Where are these shots come? Because you don't want that mid-range jumper because, those are essentially deemed pointless from a statistical analytic basketball.
I hate when people do that.
You don't like that? You think a mid-range jumper is still...
If it's an open shot, shoot it.
She's not getting open mid-range jumpers.
Nah, then okay, no. But if it's an open shot,
she seems to get open threes.
Yeah, because
she creates the space.
Yeah, she creates space, pick and roll, creates space.
So that's what I'm saying. Should she just say like, I'm taking 4 threes every game? And I'm gonna try to make 2 or 3.
The thing about her taking more shots is, I think that because Chelsea is flashier, like she gets a lot of the credit, but I think Candace is the best playmaker on the team. And I think that's why a lot of times you see the offense run through her. Like again, like for instance, I said they need to use her like the Nuggets use Jokic.
She's an elite passer, definitely.
And if you
her
look
height is 5 inches different, so her passing angles are going to be different than Chelsea.
And if you just look at the starting lineup, right? Just like look at the lineup. Mm-hmm. Like if they aren't scoring, if they aren't scoring, what are they doing? But like what if Raquana? She got to get shots.
Has to.
She has to shoot. Like if she's offensively not getting shots,
if Raquana's not shooting in the starting lineup, she might as well come off the bench.
You may as well come off the bench. Like you literally may as well come
go back
off
to
the bench.
Sydney.
I thought that the whole time. I honestly thought that Raquana should have been off the bench regardless anyway. But they started to win. But I think she should have been the 6th man because I just like that punch off the bench.
Think about it like this though. So let's say Raquana wasn't necessarily cooking in that first quarter when none of the Sparks were, but they were still only down by 11. Think about putting in somebody like that, instant offense right off the bench when you need something. Maybe that can change it because you can only shoot 1 shot at a time. So if you got your 4, your 5 best offensive players on the court at one time, do you need all of that at once?
And the thing about Raquana is Raquana usually needs to dribble to score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's got that pull-up game. It's like pound shoot.
She's probably one of the best shot creators I've seen in the W. So you don't want to take that away from her. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, how is Candace gonna shoot the ball? I think if you put Sydney there, Sydney just want to catch and shoot. She's not gonna be pounding the ball too much. She's not gonna isolate. Mm-hmm. That's not her game. Her game is play hard defense. Maybe she don't need no more than 2 dribbles.
Who?
Sydney. 1-2 shoot. If she got to do more than 2 dribbles, pass the ball. She's passing. Pass the ball. But Raquana, realistically and rightfully so, can do all of this, and she deserves it because she's that good. Mm-hmm. But I think that, again, if you bring her off the bench, then that would open up more shots for Candace because you have 1 less person there.
I think it would open up more shots for Raquana as well off the bench.
Fair.
Because who would be competing with her from a perimeter aspect on the bench for shots?
Yeah.
Nobody.
No, you're right.
Those would be her shots.
She would probably get in more of a rhythm. Mm-hmm. She could come in and realistically take 4 straight shots and nobody would say nothing.
Mm-mm. And she would make at least 1 of them.
She might make 4 of them. She's that type of person. She can realistically just get hot and flame up and go for 20 off the bench.
Because before this game, I was thinking that the starting lineup for the rest of the season was set.
I mean, it probably is set at this point.
It probably is, but I still think there's something to having a Raquana the diva punch off the bench.
I agree with you.
And Shanae, they score. Even Shanae, they score.
No.
They get the ball, they're trying to score.
For me, I always want my 6th man to be somebody who come in and put up points. A Lou Will.
Okay.
You could start Lou Will.
There's none of that off this bench.
You could start Lou Will. He could still give you 20 points. But just think about if you put Lou Will against teams' benches, he's automatically the best player out there and the best scorer on the court.
Right.
Raquana, when she can start, she's that good. But when you got her playing against the bench, who's guarding her against most teams? Maybe Washington got REO. I don't think REO starts for Washington.
Atkins. She started this last. Oh, no, she was supposed to start, but she had been starting. So basically, since Christy Tolliver's been out, she's been starting. So she was supposed to start, but she had the wrong part of her uniform or something silly. Doesn't matter.
Whatever. Well, anyway, things that I see, I don't besides maybe Ariel.
Yeah, but Powers is great off the bench when they get back to that because now she's shown that she can start. She's shown that she can score. Now they feel like they can trust her because they weren't really giving her minutes in the beginning, but now she's earned her role.
That's probably the only 6 man that I could see that would have the same type of effect as far as scoring wise as Raquana would. And I'm with you. I think Maria could start on most teams. So bringing Maria and Raquana off the bench to play against teams' second units is kind of unfair, especially offensively. It's kind of unfair. And also Raquana with her defense, it's like that's also just annoying. So you finna pop into the game after I've been running up and down the court 6 minutes, and I don't want to deal with this. Like if I'm opposing guard, I just don't want to deal with this.
Maybe a way to do that is to keep her starting, but just pull her a little bit earlier.
Yeah, pull her earlier and insert her back in.
Just rotation wise, because I feel like sometimes with a 10-minute quarter, it'll get away from you real quick. About subbing people in. Mm-hmm. So you'll look up, it'll be like 2 minutes left in the quarter. You're like, well, it's only 2 minutes left now. It don't matter now. You know what I'm saying? Take Chelsea out. But then you're like, well, I need her for the last bucket. You know what I'm saying? I need her for the ISO. I need her for the ISO gray part.
Not if you got Raquana.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think they have
She's still, to me, I think she's the best ISO player.
Oh, no, she 100%. She might be the best ISO player in the league. Mm-hmm. One of them. Her, Christie, but also Raquana is in there too.
Yeah.
Can you really name 5 people with the ball in the league better than Raquana?
No, and I'm not going to try.
So there you go. I think that's the one advantage that they do have, which I think will help them in the playoffs when things slow down a little bit, because they do have people they can dump the ball to, move away from it, say figure it out.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see what they do, because I don't know. This game could be, just a blip, or it could be the telltale sign of exactly how to beat the Sparks.
They need to beat I think if you, that's been out there. I want to say
it's been out there.
Like if I can notice it, look.
I know. We've been talking about it.
I mean, I think we know a lot about basketball, but we should know more than the people that's coaching the team. So if I can notice it clear as day, and I've been screaming it for 2 months,
the team's been missing.
But teams ain't been shooting. That's the other issue. If you miss,
but Chicago shot, they missed and they lost. And part of it is because you got defense.
But they were hurt that game. Like Vandersloot didn't play.
That's true. So
and even you see the next game. And even you see the next game, they had the center even taking threes. I forget her name. But Dawson. They had Dawson even taking threes. Yep. They played way more like what they should play like in that game than what they did in the game in LA. Mm-hmm. But they need to beat the Fever. If they don't beat the Fever, then it's like that's interesting. But they need to beat the Fever. They should still go 2 out of 3 on this road trip.
2 out of 3 on any road trip is good.
Oh, that's amazing.
It doesn't matter if you win 2 out of 3 on the road. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because look at the home record. And then if you can get that going on the road, right now, I don't even think they can have a 500 road record now, since they only have 2 games left. So, and that's kind of disappointing.
Record is
6-9.
6-9.
It's only 2 games left. So at best they can be an 8-9 road team.
That's not bad though. That's not bad.
It's not great.
It's not great, but that's not.
But even look at the top team in the league.
10-5.
That's why they're number 1.
Yeah, but then everybody
10-5. That's why they're number 1.
Right, but then everybody else is. If they could end up going 8-9 on the road, that's not that bad.
It's not bad, but 8-9 on the road means that you're less likely than more likely to win one on the road when it comes time for you to win one on the road in the playoffs in a 5-game series.
Yes, but with all the injuries the Sparks had, I don't want to them having all the injuries they had, playing 7 players some games on the road like they played in Atlanta. If they could still go 8-9 on the road, I think that's successful for them. Because it ain't like they had a full roster all year. So
right. I think they still, like you've said before, still one of the most dangerous teams in the league.
100%.
And if the Sparks are at their peak, the only team that can match peak Sparks, in my opinion, is the Mystics. Maybe with a caveat of the Aces. I do not think the Sun can match peak Sparks.
The Aces, they would be fighting against Aces because the way they play defense is built to stop a team like the Aces.
That's true.
I'm telling you, the teams that I think they would have the most trouble with: Chicago and Washington.
Shooters.
Everybody else, the Aces, they could honestly probably beat the Aces in the series. Like, what is it, 5 games? Mm-hmm. Like 3-1.
3-1. I don't know, man. Bill might say, "Hey, all right, Asia, Liz, it's time to shoot." He's not, but he could.
He could, but
because they can shoot, especially Cam Page. When Cam Page set her WNBA record for points, the 50-some points, it's because she was making threes that game. She can shoot. So all of these players on these top tier teams, you want to say the top 5 teams, which are Mystics, Sun, Sparks, Sky, Aces. Top 5 teams. All of these players are pretty much all around players. Like you saw John Quell, she was shooting threes. She was making threes.
Oh, she has a great stroke too.
Right.
Like, she has a great form. Like
Right.
they ran her off a screen one
Right.
time. I was
Because
like, yo,
because
what?
realistically, even the tallest player in the WNBA is essentially a wing or guard in men's basketball. So there's nothing to say that they can't shoot.
Which is why I think the thing that's holding the lead, that they all need to shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Like y'all, like the
Well,
game.
if they listen to you and shoot, I don't see how the Sparks get to where they want to go.
Yeah,
because they're gonna have to make some major changes on defense if teams are just gonna shoot.
The issue, like I think that like the Sparks next year, I think that the 3-pointer is coming. I think that with what Washington is doing this year, especially if they win, because obviously you always copy the winner. So if they win, then teams are gonna go, oh well, we need to get up more threes. Hey, all of y'all go in the gym shoot. When you gotta look at it,
They
shoot.
already know it. They all know it because
Yeah, but it hasn't won though. Like
hasn't
that's
won yet.
like
Okay.
yeah, like that's the thing. For instance, like
but it's won in every other basketball league.
yeah, but the WNBA I feel like is like maybe 10 to 15 years behind the men's game as far as play style.
I think it's like 5 now. It's closer. I think
No,
it's closer
5.
than you think because you have players like Dewar shooting threes. You got power forwards shooting threes on
fair.
like every team. Naka
fair.
shoots. I mean, every single team. There's only like 1 or 2 players on each roster now that doesn't shoot threes. They just don't shoot enough threes, but they all shoot threes.
I mean,
just
nah,
not enough.
For the most part, I want to say like 10 years ago, like I mean, crazy 10 years ago was 2010. But
Yeah.
you know, people was shooting from the perimeter. They just wasn't shooting enough.
No, you're right. 20.
That's like that's wild to think about that. That's like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
now,
Dwight
but-
Howard era.
Dwight Howard era, but that's crazy to think about that. But even like that team, like I always say all the time, I was watching that series. The Cavs, they built the team to play the Lakers, but forget that you got to get to play the Lakers. So if you got Ilgauskas and Ben Wallace on the floor, but the Magic running out there with
Ryan Anderson.
Rashard Lewis. What is Ben Wallace gonna do with Rashard Lewis?
Stand there and look at him.
Exactly. So, but again, like if Washington wins, I think that next year people will have to start to adjust a little bit. I mean, because you can't just let them run you out the floor every game. So they'll have to like adjust a little bit, and then I think that then next year, Fish would probably have to maybe switch up some of the things that he does.
Okay.
But I think they'll be fine for this year. We'll see, but I think that they should be fine.
They definitely have a chance.
No, one against anybody, against literally anybody.
And that's what you want. You want a chance
Yeah.
to then do what you need to do, make the adjustments you need to make to step up that level and become a championship team.
Again, I'm happy this game happened now instead of later.
I agree with you. I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I guess it's been the Spark Report, W-insidr Network,
Yes, sir.
Pavy, John W. Davis. We appreciate y'all listening. If you got any comments, you can hit us up on Twitter. I'm at John W. Davis at Twitter.
I'm at Pavy World, Pavy World, all one word.
So that's the best way to reach us and engage with us about the Sparks.
Yes.
If you listen to this, I assume you at least like the Sparks,
So-
or you at least like the WNBA and you want to talk about it. So we're willing to talk about it with you.
We're here.
All right, y'all. Peace.